Time now, 6:30. Call this meeting to order. Land and Natural Resources Culture Preservation Committee. Today is June 12, 2023. I'd like to ask Representative Harjo if you offer the benediction for us, or invocation, excuse me.
Father God, we always give you thanks when we have opportunity again to come about the business of the tribe, and we just ask that you would be with us as we make decisions this evening, and we ask that everything that we do would have a blessing on it, so as we continue forward to our council meetings, that these things that we agree upon will be things that are good for our nation. We just ask that you just continue to watch over us as we're here in the meeting, and when we depart later, that you go with us as we make our ways back home. We give you thanks always for all these things. In your precious holy name we do pray. Amen.
All right, thank you. Next, we have roll call. Legislative Clerk Tracy Knobloch.
Joseph Hicks.
Here.
Charles McHenry.
Here.
Galen Cloud.
Here.
Gerald Proctor.
Here.
Nelson Harjo.
Here.
Chairman, you have 5 present, 0 absent.
5 present, 0 absent. Constitutes a quorum. Any business conducted this evening will be official. Next we have is approval of minutes for May 9th, 2023. Give committee time to review and ask for a motion.
Chairman,
Yes, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the minutes with any necessary changes.
Motion been made by Representative Harjo to approve the minutes with any necessary changes. Any second?
Second.
Second by Representative Hicks. Roll call.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. Those minutes have been approved for May 9th, 2023. Down to order of business. Bowie Creek Traditional Church Summer Church Camp Grant. We have Buckeye Creek Baptist Church, Wayne Harjo. Oh, church grants. We have any representative from, oh yes, go. Good evening. We received your church grant application, and this is for the church camp to Falls Creek. Is that correct? Make sure that microphone is on, if you don't mind. All right, thank you.
We do a couple of fundraisers, and then we have just take up a couple of offerings during the year, but this, we rely on this as well for the $2,500 for expenses throughout the week for Falls Creek.
Okay, thank you. Have any questions from committee? Questions from council online or in the audience?
Chair, make a motion to adopt.
Motion been made by Representative Hicks to approve the application for the church grant.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Cloud. Roll call.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry.
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That has been approved for $2,500.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for being here. Next grant we have is Solid Rock Baptist Church, Todd Parker. I believe this one's also for the Falls Creek camp. We have all of our information here. They have submitted their budget and the list of members and citizens that are going. Have any questions?
Chair, make a motion to approve.
Motion been made by Representative Hicks to approve, seconded
Second.
by Representative Harjo. Roll call vote.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That grant has been approved for $2,500. Next, we have for summer church grant, Little Caseta Baptist Church, Ray Samuel. Also have their application here.
Chair, I'll make another motion to approve.
Motion been made by Representative Hicks to approve,
Second.
seconded by Representative Harjo. Roll call.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud. Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
We have 4 in favor and 0 against. Camp grant has been approved. Next item we have is Muskogee Creek Nation Emergency Assistance Grant for Greenleaf Missionary Baptist Church, Lydia Proctor. I believe Tribal Construction has submitted their quote on fixing their HVAC, and listed amount is $361.41.
Chair, I got a question.
Yes, go ahead.
The only question I got is, I know it says it's 361.41, but up here, I guess on the second page, it says total amount requested is 10,000.
I had put that on there before they sent it to me because I didn't know the amount, so I'll change it.
Okay, thank you. Chair, make a motion to approve.
Motion been made by Representative Hicks to approve,
Second.
seconded by Representative Cloud. Roll call.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That grant has been approved. That concludes the grant applications. First item we have is TR 23-054, a tribal resolution of Muskogee Creek Nation authorizing the construction of a new building known as the Housing Annex and Payment Center for the Muskogee Creek Nation Department of Housing, and authorizing the principal chief to execute a contract with Emeritus Contractors. Sponsors Charles McHenry.
Chair, make a motion to do pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative McHenry. We have a second.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Hicks. Discussion. We have, yes.
Good evening, National Council. This resolution is for the construction of our new payment building, which will be called the Housing Annex and Payment Center. It was initially in our Indian housing plan for our CARES funding that we received, I believe, in 2020. and there were some administration changes with it. We were going to do it in a different area with a different building, but since that time, we have decided to go ahead and go back to the original plan. It will be located near the current tiny home area by the elder facility, and that's just to make it easier for people to do drive-up payments versus coming into our building to make those payments.
Okay, thank you.
Hmm?
Questions from committee? Questions from council online or in the audience? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That motion passes.
Thank
Thank you. Next item we have is NCA 23-046, the law of Muskego Creek Nation establishing a new Title 16, Chapter 4 entitled Culture and Humanities Department and appropriating funds. Sponsors Galen Cloud. Co-sponsors are Leonard Gouge and Joseph Hicks. This was postponed from our emergency session on June 1st, 2023.
Chair, make a motion to postpone until our next LNC meeting.
Motion been made by Representative Cloud to postpone to our next LNC meeting in July.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Hicks. Discussion? Roll call vote.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That motion passes. Next item we have is NCA 23-047, a law of Muskego Creek Nation appropriating funds to create the Muskogee Language Liaison Program. Sponsor is Galen Cloud. Co-sponsors are Leonard Gouge, Joseph Hicks. This was postponed from an emergency session of June 1st, 2023.
Chair, make another motion to postpone until our next LNC meeting.
Motion been made by Representative Hicks to postpone to July's LNC meeting. Oh, sorry, Representative Cloud, excuse me.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Hicks. Discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. Next item we have is NCA 23-050, a law of Muskego Creek Nation authorizing expenditure of Indian Housing Block Grant, IHBG, Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security, CARES Act for the construction of an annex and payment building for the Muskego Creek Nation Department of Housing. Sponsors Charles McHenry.
Chair, make a motion to do pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative McHenry.
Second.
Seconded by Representative Hicks. Discussion.
Originally, NCA 20-025 was in place to allow the expenditures of CARES Act funding. And then NCA 21-039 was a veto override over NCA 2025, which ended the expenditure time or terms as of April 24, 2021. So this current law right now, 23-050, is giving us the authority to continue to spend our leftover CARES funds to finish this annex payment building.
Okay, all right, thank you. Questions from committee? Questions from council online or in the audience? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. That motion passes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next item we have is NCA 23-051, along Musco Creek Nation approving the FY 2024 Indian Housing Plan, sponsored Joseph Hicks.
Chair, I make a motion to do pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Hicks,
Second.
second by Representative Cloud. Discussion.
Hello again.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for our fiscal year '24 Indian Housing Plan that is required each year. It is due to HUD, I believe, on July 17th. So that's why we're presenting it today. It has been revised somewhat. We received technical assistance from one of the HUD people who helped us go back and relook at the plan to better revise it to match what we are going to present in this coming year's fiscal year '24 budget. So with that being said, everything is the current programs that we have in place, with the exception of we have added a rental tenant-based program. We also have that already, but it's only for elders. So this program will be able to accommodate up to 50 citizens, and we will be able to help them pay up to 50% of their rent with a maximum amount of $500. And that will be a program that we would get people in to help with homelessness or any type of, being without a place to stay. But our goal is to utilize our resident occupancy self-sufficient program, which is called the ROS program, to help citizens for those first 2 years with 50% of the rent, and then running them through the ROS program to become self-sufficient. So after that 2-year program, they would take on that full responsibility of the rent. But we want to help prepare them be able to be successful when they are out trying to rent a place or eventually become a homeowner. But pretty much everything else in our plan is pretty consistent with previous years. Again, we just made it a little bit more detailed as far as what kind of services and what do we oversee at the housing department. And this year's amount that we have been notified by HUD is about little over 21 million, I believe, in our plan. It looks like this year we are anticipating to receive $21,194,763.
All right, thank you. Questions from committee? Questions from council online or in the audience?
Chairman?
Yes, Representative Golden?
Yes, I haven't really looked at the plan, but I still have a concern and questions in regard to the tiny homes. For your housing plan, has there been any efforts to connect with the tiny homes? Because they're still empty. And there are people that are homeless right now that can't get into those homes. So has there been any effort or anything that is moved forward to try to connect with them, maybe coordinate efforts to get people into those tiny homes?
Excuse me, yes, ma'am. With the tiny homes, I believe those were built with a different source of funding that was being oversight was done by food nutrition. So right now, they're not under the housing program, but under the food nutrition program. I have met with the food nutrition program to try to help coordinate what housing can help as far as maintenance and doing intake for those who will be utilizing the program. but right now it is still designated under the Food Nutrition Department. We did submit over to Mr. Jeff Fife the policy from housing's perspective, and then Food Nutrition provided their policy for review on that end. But right now, it is not part of, or housing does not have oversight over it at this time. Um, I'm in agreement with you. I have a lot of people requesting to have or be placed somewhere, and unfortunately, that has not been in process yet. But from a housing perspective, we've been trying to help coordinate with social services or food nutrition to see how we can help them to get people housed in them. But I believe right now policy is still over with administration or executive right now.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Beauty. They're still empty and they've been there for what, a year and a half, almost 2 years. So I'm thinking, you know, I appreciate that you have reached out and what you've done, but I don't know if you have any recommendations on how we can move forward with it, write letters, ask somebody. But, you know, again, we still have people who are homeless, and that's a resource that we're not using for our citizens. Thank you, Ms. Beauty. Thank you, Chairman.
All right, thank you, Representative Golden. Any more questions, comments? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo,
Yes.
Galen Cloud.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against, that motion passes.
Thank you.
Very much. That concludes order of business. Now we're in other business. We have one item in other business.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to add TR 2306 to the agenda.
Motion been made by Representative Cloud to add TR 23-067 to the agenda.
Second.
Second by Representative Hicks. Roll call.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor and 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against. The motion passes. So the item we have is TR 23-067, a tribal resolution of Muskego Creek Nation authorizing a principal chief to execute a temporary operating permit with Entertaining Angels for the operation of one temporary fireworks sales facility on tribal trust land. Sponsor is Galen Cloud.
Chair, make a motion to pass.
Motion for due pass by Representative Cloud,
Second.
second by Representative Hicks. Discussion. I believe our legislation reads as follows: as a temporary operating permit for a fireworks sales facility on the tribal trust land. And this determine this agreement is from June 19, 2023 through July 10th, 2023. Any questions from committee? Questions from council online? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Galen Cloud,
Yes.
Joseph Hicks,
Yes.
Charles McHenry,
Yes.
Nelson Harjo.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 4 in favor, 0 against.
4 in favor and 0 against, that motion passes. All right, that concludes other business. Down to announcements. Tomorrow's planning session, we have 2 joint committees starting at 5:45 and 6 o'clock, I believe. And planning session also. All right, down to adjournment and benediction. I'd like to ask Representative Cloud if you offer the benediction, which will serve as our adjournment. Adjournment.